Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the session of mass spectrometer. We are starting with mass spectrometer today. The topics that I will be covering today is basics of mass spectrometer, its components, types of mass spectrometers, which are magnetic deflection, time of flight, radio frequency, double focusing, and quadratic type. And we also will be seeing at the end how gas chromatograph and mass spectrometry can be used together to obtain very good sample identification, separation as well as identification. So, quantitative methods for determination of components in complex hydrocarbon mixtures. This is the main purpose of using mass spectrometry. It was then later also used for structural analysis of complex compounds. The method requires samples that are clean. Otherwise, the interpretation becomes confusing. So, what is the basic principle of mass spectrometry? Atoms can be deflected by magnetic or electric fields. All of you will agree to this, provided that the atom is first turned into an ion. Electrically charged particles are affected by a magnetic or electric field, although electrically neutral ones aren't. It basically will work on the principle of mass to charge ratio. Now, what I'm trying to explain by this is, suppose if you are having three different balls with you, you have a football, you have a lawn tennis ball, and you have a and you have a table tennis ball. All three of this vary in size. They will vary in their weight or mass. So basically, all of these three are different visibly to us. Suppose we are blindfolded and we are asked to throw these three balls. Just by judging their weight, we could have an approximation that if I throw all the three balls at the same time, which ball will land first, which will land second, and which will land third. Also, we can identify that which ball will land nearer to me, which ball will land farther to me. Obviously, if I'm throwing all the three at a time, standing at position 0, when I throw the balls, I'm throwing them with the same velocity. I'm applying same force to throw them. But because of their weight, they will either fall early or they'll fall farther. Now the one which is heavy will fall closer. The one which is light will be carried forward. Now this is applying one, or this is while I'm doing or while I'm applying a similar force while throwing them. Suppose along with this force, there is a gush of wind or wind is blowing strongly. What will happen to the balls? The balls will get a little bit diverted. They will not follow the same path that they followed previously. In that, what is happening? That the ball which is having more weight will not get deflected at all. But the ball which is having the least weight, that is a table tennis ball, it will be deflected the most out of the three. That means when I'm throwing the three balls in the presence of strong wind, my balls will not travel in the straight line, but they will deflect. And they will deflect on the basis of their weight. This same concept is applicable to mass spectrometry because we are going to deflect them using a magnetic and an electrical field. So automatically I'm applying two different fields to those ions. And when I'm applying these different fields, they will deflect or they will react in different manners depending on their mass to charge ratio. This is the basic principle of a mass spectrometer. It is used as an identification method. When a given molecular species is impacted with an electron beam, a family of positive particles are produced. That means ions. The mass distribution of the particles are characteristic of that parent species. And it will depend on the mass to charge ratio of the particular sample. If you observe this diagram, this is what exactly I was trying to tell you. That suppose if I have 3 balls which I am going to throw from this position. When I am throwing from this position, all the 3 balls are going to travel in some trajectory like it is shown here. Now in this, the first field will be an electrical field which is going to accelerate all these ions. Now when it is going to accelerate, they will accelerate depending on their charge. Once they are accelerated, later on you apply a magnetic field. When you apply a magnetic field, they will start getting deflected from their positions or their paths. Suppose if this is the outer dark white line is to be followed, suppose that is the trajectory. What will happen because of the external applied magnetic field? Because of the external applied magnetic field, there will be a deflection in the paths. And you can see that there are 3 different paths that are formed here, depending on their mass to charge ratio. This is how a mass spectrometer will operate. We are going to try and deflect these ions in such a manner that we can separate them on the basis of their mass to charge ratio. So here you can observe that there is an electrode or a collector electrode which is going to collect these ions. So if I place it here, it is going to, if I place it in this position, it is going to detect these ions. If I place it in this position, it is going to detect these ions. If I place it in this position, it will detect these ions. So depending on their mass to charge ratio, they are deflected. What is mass resolution? The ability of a mass analyzer to yield distinct signals for 2 ions with a small mass to charge difference. This is what is mass resolution. In mass spectrometry, mass resolution R is defined as R is equal to M delta M, wherein M is the nominal mass of the first peak, or alternatively the average mass of the 2 peaks in question, and delta M is the mass difference between the 2 adjacent peaks. As we saw in gas chromatography, similarly here also we'll obtain peaks in the graph. This is a very simplified block diagram for a mass spectrometer. So the first and the foremost is the ion source. I have a question from Hari asking that why do we have to deflect them? Why do we have to deflect those ions when they are already falling in different positions? Hari, they are not falling in different positions directly. Since we are deflecting them, so they are falling in different positions. If we would not deflect them, it would be a single beam that would be detected. And that single beam would have a combination of all the ions present in the sample. I hope I have answered your question. So the first thing is the ion source. Second is the mass analyzer. Third is the ion detector. fourth is your data system. Now, the ion source is basically going to split your sample into ions. So the inlet is going to be the sample, then it comes to the ion source, and later on it passes through the mass analyzer, going on to the ion detector. This all is taking place under vacuum, so vacuum pumps are present. We will be seeing each of these blocks in detail now. So, the components of mass spectrometer. First is the inlet system. Then you have the ion source, electrostatic accelerating system, the deflection that is applied, detector, amplifier and display system, and auxiliary equipment that are required for mass spectrometer. Let us see one by one. So the inlet sample systems. So the sample which is going to be analyzed by the mass analyzer could either be gas, liquid or solid. Here I have attached a photo from one of the books that I am referring. In that we have handling of gas, introduction of liquid samples and solids. So gases can directly be transferred. The volume is about 3 milliliters. And in liquids, the liquid can be introduced in various ways. First is break-off devices. Second is by touching a micropipette to a sintered glass disc under a layer of molten gallium. Third is by a hypodermic needle injection through a silicon rubber septum, of which we have also seen in gas chromatography. The third type of sample to be introduced is solids. So solids with very low vapor pressure can be introduced directly into an entrance to the ion chamber onto a silica or platinum probe. But if the sample is not having a low vapor pressure, then you have to first convert it into vapors and then transfer it to the ion chamber. So this is the inlet sample system. You can see figures given here. This is for gas. A is for gas. B is for liquid using a micropipette. And C is a magnetically gated gallium cutoff for entering of different liquid samples.